This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Example, Marlins. Let's talk a little Marlins. I think the number's up to like 19 now. 17 players, 2 coaches, something like that. In other words, most of the team. And a lot of important players, including Miguel Rojas, apparently got it. Now they're going to miss out 7 games because they were supposed to play on Monday all the way through Sunday. So that's 7 games that you're going to miss out on. And you're off on Monday, but you're back on Tuesday. So it looks like they'll be back next Tuesday playing. I forgot who it is that they play on that Tuesday. But my point is, doesn't matter who they play, is how do you make up those 7 games? And do you get an opportunity to make up those 7 games? And you think about this, how this is. Remember I told you yesterday that, the Phillies now are in quarantine for a couple games. So they've got to also make up those games. This is not the last time it's going to happen, right? So you're going to have more of this. And during these 7 games that they're missing out on, how many playoff teams were involved in those 7 games that aren't the Marlins? Let's just assume that the Marlins are going nowhere, which is probably a good case because they are really young. Even though they're 2-1, okay, they are not supposed to be going to the playoffs, okay? But let's just say you also played in those 7 games a couple of playoff teams. How do they make up their games? And by the end of the year, if you got to make up those games, and the Marlins are part of it, but they're out, then how do you think the integrity of those games are going to go? Because if you're the Marlins and you're out, then you're going to play Monte Harrison and you're going to play J.J. Blvd. You're going to play all your young guys that you normally call up in September. And so what's Major League Baseball going to do to the Marlins? Oh, no, you need to play your best players because we need to make sure that these games are up and up as much as possible, that nobody is cheating. And nobody is tanking, because that's the word, right? Marlins aren't tanking. Nobody tanks in September. You play your young guys in September when you're out of it. August and September is for the teams that are out of it. They're always playing their young guys. It's not about tanking. It's about baseball and about development. And listen, the entire team is a development. It's not like they've got a whole bunch of established starters and then you want to start. No, but there are young guys that you have invested in that, you know what? They didn't earn a starting spot, so you've got them waiting, but you'd like to give them some playing time and give them some experience. Because then next year when training camp, where spring training rolls around, then everybody's in the mix, and some of these guys actually will have experience, which is cool. You know what I'm saying? So it's interesting how this COVID thing, if you start to look at it and peel the layers off the onion, that bitch is going to make you cry as the season goes on. And it's going to happen more often with other teams, and then those games are going to be setbacks. And how do you make it up in a shortened season? How do you make up? Think about this: 7 games out of 60. That's a large portion of your season right there already for the Marlins. You know what I mean? And again, I'm telling you that they've treated this in a way because it's the Marlins. If this was the Dodgers or the Yankees, it would be treated differently. Okay? And that's it's going to happen. It's going to happen. All right? I'm sorry if you're a Dodgers fan or a Yankees fan or whatever, any kind of contender out there, okay? There's going to be a contender that's going to suffer from this thing, and it's going to hit up a whole bunch of players. We talked about it for football. What happens when it hits the entire offensive line or your quarterback room or your wide receivers or your defensive ends or your defensive tackles, and it completely weakens a portion of your team that it puts it in at such a disadvantage that there's no way you can make it up. And then that's going to ruin your competition. You're going to give a team a break now. You know what I mean? And that's what the Marlins will do at the end of the year when they're going to bring up the rest of the young guys, and they're not trying to tank. They're just trying to develop.
If you're not playing for now, you're playing for the future. If you're not, you're not being responsible.
That's baseball. That's been baseball for 100 years, and there's no reason it should change now. So when the Marlins are playing even younger guys, don't pick on them at the end of the year. They're doing what they're supposed to do. And you know, the other thing is that you everybody's worried about how it all was contracted. I love it. VSS West Penis. That's an interesting address.
As opposed to the East. It's opposed to the East penis, it's the West penis.
Yes. Yeah.
No, that's penis.
The I and
Say it correct, that's penis.
It's just switching the I and the E, right? That's all it is. Penis and the I and the E, right? Yeah.
The person's dyslexic, man. Give him a break.
See? So ladies out there, we have penis pipes. So come on out here at VSS West Penis. We got penis pipes. Smoke that, baby. Smoke it. All right, 786-322-1105 if you want to pick up your penis.
Oh, looking at the schedule, you know what? It was supposed to be Baltimore here too, then there too. But it's Washington, Philly, Mets, Toronto, Atlanta, and then New York Mets again. All those teams with the expanded playoffs, after we get done with Baltimore, they all got shots at playoff spots.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah. And now it's, you know, how did they get the virus? Because Jeter was like, well, you know, we had a perfect and clean 2.0 spring training in Miami until we ran into issues on the road. And what are you assuming, Jeter? I mean, it doesn't matter. Did a guy get it by some food he got delivered? Did he get it by pressing a button in the elevator? Did he get it at a restaurant, at a strip club? I love how everybody starts to bring up Magic City again. Like, okay, did a Marlin go get wings? You know what I'm saying? And at this point, you know who you blame? You don't blame the Marlins, okay? You blame baseball because you're the one that thinks that somehow or another you can actually maintain safety in a pandemic, okay? Look, man, we've been at this for, 4 or 5 months now, 5 months at least, and he and I haven't contracted it yet. But I say yet because it's probably the inevitable, because you could try to do all the right things all the time. I don't think it's humanly possible unless you live in an incubator away from the world and you never have to touch anything from anybody and nothing ever comes in contact with you. Then, yeah, maybe you can stay away from it. If you're, John Travolta and the boy in the plastic bubble, okay, I get that. But the rest of us that have to live our lives, that you have to pick up food, that you have to go through a drive-through, I went hurricane shopping yesterday. Yeah, I did. Wife and I went to Publix yesterday, and we loaded up on the water, and we loaded up. Why? Because that stupid storm that's out there, it might come. And you think I want to go shopping on Friday and Saturday when it's a nut house and everybody's there? Hell no, dude. I went to Publix last night when nobody's there so I could get all my water, get everything I need just in case. Which, by the way, my suggestion to all of you out there, go get your stuff today already, okay? Because that storm supposedly is headed our way, one way or another. And if it doesn't hit us and it gets lost in the Atlantic, fantastic. But if it hits us, be prepared. And you don't want to do this on Friday and Saturday. I'm telling you, you don't want to do this on Friday or Saturday. But, we had to wipe everything down that we bought. We had to wash our hands, all of that. And it still does not guarantee you're not going to get COVID. I am praying every time I have to do something, but I have to do it, right? I got no choice. I got to work. I got to go out and get hurricane supplies. I got to put gas. I got to get food. I got to get delivered. I got to pick up at a drive-through, whatever. There are so many different ways we can contract the virus. So for Major League Baseball or the NFL to be living in this world without a bubble and expect and say, well, we've had so many tests positive and nobody else has tested positive in the league, it's just Russian roulette. That's all. That's the only thing every baseball team is doing right now. They're spinning the chamber and they're putting their gun to the head and it goes click, click. But eventually it's going to go boom and you're going to end up with COVID. That's just the way it is. We have no choice. There's a good chance most of us will get this thing at one point or another. Think about this. I told you yesterday, I'm not going to have, when the vaccine comes out, I want no part of that vaccine for a long time, dude. I'm not going to have the vaccine early on. I'm not going to be the guinea pig. There's no way. Plus, I know that the early vaccines won't be that good. My Lord, I see people standing in line for hours for a COVID test, and then I see the person telling you to stick the swab in your nose. They're not doing it. You're doing it. Do you know how many of these tests are inaccurate now? There's a whole bunch of them that are inaccurate. Okay? Mike's breaking up a little bit there. Now I don't know what the, yeah, is that? I don't know. Am I breaking up or is it my headset?
No, that's your headset.
It is, huh? Okay, then we got to fix it. I don't know. We got to fix it. Because it's breaking up. But you look at what's going on with this whole COVID thing. We got to be smart about it, man. Because in order to avoid this, for all of us to avoid this till 2021, do you know how? And you have to be vigilant. You have to continue going about it the right way. You have to keep washing your hands. And at one point or another, you're going to make a mistake, right? And when you make that mistake, you're going to end up getting burned, in the process. Why? Because you weren't supposed to touch your face. I'm not hearing anything. You're not. All right, there we go. All right, I'm hearing it now. You weren't supposed to touch your face, and you did, okay? And so that's where the problem ends up, and you made a mistake. Or you walked into an elevator, and maybe you forgot your mask at the moment from your house, and you're on your way to the car, and somebody in that elevator coughed or whatever, and you walked in, and you picked it up. You just never know, man. You know how hard it's going to be for all of us to avoid this thing till next year? And it becomes that much harder for all of us. Why? Because we got a bunch of idiots that keep spreading it. So then we have no choice. It keeps festering all over the place. And until we bring it way down, so that way there's less people out there, you know what I'm saying? Then that way the risks have gone way down. That's the way it should be. But now at this point, this is a mission for us to try to avoid this thing till next year. And I think a lot of you are thinking like me, like there's no way I'm doing the vaccine right away. So that means you and I have to dodge this bitch for a lot longer. You know what I'm saying? And even the vaccine won't be 100% anyway. It's a virus. It's going to be hard.